With Prequel, with the album, you know, the overall concept of the album is kind of the beginning, not even really the beginning of the story. Um, so the title track is called How the Story Goes. It basically talks about, I'm gonna kind of give you everything in the eyes of the artist, but in the perspective of the artist saying that, the story says that it's very difficult for an artist to kind of maintain a relationship while trying to make it in the music industry, which is pretty much, an ongoing belief, you know what I mean? That's just how the story goes. So that's like the overall concept of the song. At the end of the song, however, when the lyrics are told, he's very adamant that he can do it, that he can maybe make it happen, but then kind of shows some concern at the end and maybe gives up, and it's kind of like the little twist at the end of the story there when you hear it. A little bit of insight on the song, I wrote How the Story Goes sometime in 2014 actually. It was just an idea, it was literally just the first part. I added in the verse later. The first part, really kind of says so much with so little, and that's what I loved about it. And I knew when I recorded it, at the time I was very used to recording a song and then just releasing it on the same day. But I knew when I recorded this song that I finally had something that was more like an introductory of a body of work, and I kind of wanted to get back into that scene. I knew it was kind of like an introductory of like a body of work. So it just became like this, I just started to get this entire concept of how the story goes being like this overall album, telling this massive story about an artist's struggle trying to make it in the music industry. I kind of took that overall concept for how the story goes, finished up the verse and made the song. And as the album kind of progressed, I realized that it's an ongoing story, and then instead of calling it How the Story Goes Once, How the Story Goes Two, a lot of the songs that were recorded were kind of before the process. So I decided, okay, you know what, we're gonna call this album Prequel. I'm gonna call this album Prequel, and I'm gonna basically continue the story in chapters. The album is written in overall, like kind of mini chapters of the overall plot. So if you actually listen to the album from beginning to end, it tells you an entire story, that ends almost to be continued. The first song, talks about an artist's kind of will to struggle to try to make it in the music industry, but somehow try to maintain a relationship. The second song, Let's Be Honest, kind of talks about how, he's talking one-on-one with his girlfriend, kind of saying, let's be honest, this isn't going to work out. That's just not how the story goes. The third song is entitled Easy, where you kind of get this different perspective. It's like a really different perspective overall, but he's basically telling his lover that, just make this easy for me, because it's like, I don't want to break your heart, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. So he's just kind of asking her, don't love me anymore, just make it easy for me. On the very next song, he ultimately says, that he's fallen out of love, that, he hates to do it, but it's just kind of the next logical step, and that he wants her to be happy in everything that she's doing. But that's kind of that phase. The rest of the album kind of takes like more of a darker tone. On the next song, you kind of get this vision where the artist is, out and he meets another girl and he sees something in this other girl that's oddly familiar, that's, very reminiscent of himself. So he knows exactly what she's looking for because he's looking for the same thing, which is not looking for love because they just went out of a relationship and they know that that's not what they need right now. So they're not looking for love. So he tells her, I don't blame you. On the next track, after I Don't Blame You, you get this song, which is, it's Out My Way. It's been one of my most popular songs. Overall, the concept of Out My Way is that he kind of falls into her story. She was in love and she went through a hard relationship, and he kind of falls into that and says, you know what, you don't have to deal with that. You don't need to deal with the relationship that you're going through right now. You know what I mean? Not every guy is the same, and there are guys out there that will go out their way to make you happy. And overall, the song says that he would be that guy. That's, you know, from the perspective of the artist with his relationship. The rest of the album kind of talks about how he couldn't really focus on his music while he was going through all that. The next song, which is Comeback, pretty much talks about, you know, the difficulties of trying to make it in the music industry. You know, forget about the relationship side of it. It's just overall difficult. You know, he talks about from the music itself to his family to his fans. On the following track, which is All In, he pretty much tells a story where he's finally like able to be all in on the music and give everything he has to it. That, you know, he put aside work, you know, and wants to devote all of his time and energy into this project. On the last song, 210%, you kind of get he kind of takes away the concerned image of All In, the concerned sound that he had, and sounds a little more confident and you know, can really kind of believe in what he's doing and sees the value in his work. And that's where he says he's giving 210%.